While Kali appeared in the NieR Replicant drama CD, The Lost Verses and Red Sky, and the NieR Replicant and NieR Gestalt, her husband only appeared in the NieR Replicant drama CD. The drama CD was released in the year 2011, but the release was exclusively in Japan. Both Kali and her husband were part of the military during the first Red Eye outbreak, which was between the year 2008 and 2030. They were both part of the 13th Crusade unit. We don't know what rank her husband had in the military and in the Crusade unit. We don't even know his name. However, we know that Kali was commanding officer of the 13th Crusade unit. Later on, in the year 2030, she became a global war hero for having defeated the last remaining Red Eye. The strange thing about this is that we know, thanks to the NieR Automata World Guide Volume 2, that the Crusader who dealt the final blow to Red Eye succumbed to his wounds he received during the fight. And according to the Japanese version of the World Guide, the Crusader who dealt the final blow was the captain of the Crusade unit. So in the end, she was credited with something she never did. After this, both of them retired. They used the compensation from the military to investing into scientific military research. Thanks to this, Kali and her husband managed to get rich and gaining a lot of influence. She often used her reputation and wealth to force other people to bend to her opinion. Even by the time she was an elderly woman, her past military service continued to open doors for her. At some point, after the two retired, they allowed to use their genes to create an experimental designer baby. This experimental baby was Kainé. The reason why they did this is unclear. Gestalt Kali was fierce and stubborn. She took great pride in her past military career. She often rebuked her husband for raising Kainé too softly. Because of her forceful nature, she was unpopular by many people, especially those who got pressured by her. However, her husband and Kainé knew that in truth she had a kind and caring heart. Her husband, on the other side, was more of a gentle person. He started to care less about the reputation of a hero and more about a quiet and peaceful retirement with his family. At some point, her husband went against Kali's wishes and brought Kainé a white puppy in order to bring a bit joy in her life. Some years after the last Red Eye was killed, they started to reappear. Most likely in the year 2050, Kali's mansion was attacked by a Red Eye. With her influence, she not only gave Yura Masayoshi the order to defend her mansion against the attack, but also used her influence to give him every possible resource to do so. However, in the end, Yura failed to defend the mansion against the attack, and it ended with the total destruction of the mansion and the death of her husband. Her husband got wounded when he tried to protect Kali from an attack of Red Eye. He got crushed by a falling debris in the end. Kali also almost died, but was saved by Kainé. If you want to learn more about Kainé, make sure to check out my video I made about her. You can find the link to the video in the description. After this, she used her wealth to make sure that everyone stayed silent about Kainé in order to protect her from becoming a research subject. Since Kali and her husband didn't underwent the gestaltization, they weren't able to create a gestalt or replicant of her husband. At some point, Kali and Kainé underwent the process of gestaltization. The replicant Kali was cunning, vulgar, and quick to violence, but she loved and cared for Kainé from the bottom of her heart. Kali took Kainé in after Kainé's parents died. They were living together outskirts of a small village called Airy. The first few years weren't easy for both of them, but they started to get closer to each other over the years. Over the time, she gave Kainé more self-confidence. One day, when Kainé went to do some errands, a large shade named Hook attacked their house, destroying it completely. During the attack, Carly was still inside the house. When Kainé came back, she wanted to save her, but in the end, Kainé not only lost her left arm and leg, but also had to watch how Carly was getting tortured and killed by Hook. It's unclear if her replicant was reconstructed after this, but most likely not. Even if she was reconstructed, at some point the replicant system failed and her replicant would have relapsed.